York City Department of Probation. I celebrated Raise the Age when it finally became law, and I was honored to oversee DOP's implementation. Woo! Woo! I spent 32 years, and I must say, great 32 years, working with our young people that were caught up in the juvenile justice system. I can tell you, from my decades of experience, what works to help them forge a different path while protecting community safety. To be clear, I am not saying that young people should not be held accountable. I was in the business of holding young people accountable for causing harm. But probation is not a walk in the park for anyone, especially our young people. What I am saying is there's always a way to help them learn real accountability. To get them engaged in understanding their thinking, their choices, their behavior that does not involve locking them up. This hard work of learning real responsibility and to change behavior can happen. I saw it happen for decades. And what is so equally critical important is that we include well-resourced, community-based organizations. I must say this kind of work takes courage, commitment, and real investment. Our young people are worth it, and guess what? They deserve it.
Yes.
We as adults, to make it clear, we as adults have a moral responsibility to take care of our young people. And that means making sure our government doesn't just promise us funding, it means making sure the community can actually access that funding and put it towards what actually works to keep young people out of the system in the first place and help them get out and stay out. What works? It's not just funding, to be clear, not just funding, but ensuring that funding is run by the right people, the right programs, with the capacity and accountability to produce real outcomes for our young people. What works is connection to caring, cultivate, competent adults. That includes what? Credible messengers. People whose stories resonate with them, who serve as a living examples of possibility of what? Transformation. At the New York City Department of Probation, we had multiple credible messengers mentoring programs that produced incredible results. These programs focus on youth that were at greatest risk of being placed away from their home or sent to prison. And I must say they showed major reductions in conviction rates. And that was important. Another thing that works is ensuring that the right kinds of educational programs, to vocational programs, to summer youth employment, to all those things that our young people should be able to what? Explore. We need more investments in our communities, not more punishment. We need compassion, not criminalization. I am here today, standing with all of you, because my passion is supporting young people of Black and brown communities who have faced unequal opportunities and whose families have faced unequal opportunities for what? Generations. I want all of our young people to have access to the opportunities that allow them to thrive and reach their potential. Because we know that all our young people have tremendous potential. We know what works to help our young people learn to be better, to make better choices. Let's invest in what works. And last, to our youngsters, our beautiful youngsters, we believe in you. We lift you up. We celebrate you. And we invest in you. Because you matter. You matter, right? And you are future. You can take this world by storm. will follow you as we're following you today. We see your light, and we see your grace. And we stand with you now and always. Let's get this done. They're the now. And we got to talk about them as if they're the now. And not an afterthought. Because, and I love the shit, we want them to invest. But I say that, and I'm saying that to the adults. Because when we say that they're in the future, then we can invest in them later. But we need to deal with it now. And right now, the issue is we will not criminalize these young people.
Yeah.
I'm here to stand in solidarity with my colleagues, advocates, and most importantly, young people from our community. Because the city needs to be reminded, the state needs to be reminded that our young people are not disposable. Right. True safety, true public safety does not look as if putting our kids in cages are acceptable. Raise the Age was created because we understood the simple truth. Kids deserve a chance to grow, to heal, to come back into our communities whole. When you criminalize young people instead of investing in them, we rob them of that chance. And we don't accept the fact that we failed them. Because any child that is being criminalized is a failure on our part, not theirs. When we deny a space for true reform, we create harm that follows them for life. Since Raise the Age is implemented, young people have gone down in New York State. Juvenile arrest has gone down 70% in New York City. Violence is down by half. That's what a city looks like when you don't lock kids up. It happens because our city, we understand and moved away from criminalization and towards opportunity and creating a pipeline to success. But here's the problem. The state made a promise that they did not keep. New York State allocated $1.5 billion to make Raise the Age work. Yes, less than half of that money has been sent to us. New York City has nearly half the young people in youth decision system and gets zero state funding. That ain't right. It's a damn shame. Instead of investing in communities, most of our money goes into distinction and law enforcement. I say this all the time. If we invest in our young people on the front end, we won't have to invest in them on the back end. And if we want to keep talking about an affordable city, and investing in these young people, make it more affordable. Our young people need to know and understand that incarceration is not a path for them. They need mentors. They need jobs. They need health care. They need restorative justice. They need wraparound services. They need real opportunities so that they can continue to thrive. So today, we are calling for New York State to do what they promised. And that is to fully fund Raise the Age. I am demanding that they invest in our community-based programs, who you guys show up each and every day and do the work and don't get paid what you deserve. Because public safety is just not about changing kids. It's about protecting their futures. And you will not stop, I will not stop fighting until every young person has a chance and an opportunity that they all deserve. Woo! Our next speaker is Councilmember Natasha Williams.
Good morning. Good morning. I love when amazing people go before me because they make my job very easy. And we're very, very thankful to the council to have a wonderful chair that always centers our young people. So today we are here because public safety and youth opportunity are not opposites. together. Raise the Age is built on a simple truth, backed by data, research, and lived experience. When we treat young people like children and invest in their growth, our communities are safer and our future is stronger. That is the promise of this law, and that is what we are here to protect. And I always like to take opportunities to relish in full circle moments. And so once a staffer, always a staffer. And I was a staffer when we passed Raise the Age in Albany. And I remember going back and forth, certain things fell off the table that we know actually needed to be in Raise the Age, that's another story. But we got it done. And it was crazy because at the time there was only 2 other states that still prosecuted children as adults. It was deplorable that such a state as New York was still doing such a disservice to our young people. And so now full circle back here as a council member, I am so disappointed at this idea that the state is looking to roll back the hard fight. It was a very hard fight that we did to get it done. Since Raise the Age took effect, youth crime has gone down. We've heard that from our kids, so I won't repeat the stats. What we are seeing is not a policy failure. What we are seeing is a policy that has never been fully funded or fully supported. And I always talk about that, because it's not enough to pass bills. You pass a bill, you don't fund the work, what happens? Nothing. And then people say, oh, it doesn't work. Well, you didn't fund it. You didn't care about it. The state committed, again, you heard this, $1.5 billion. $1.5 billion. I teach a course, and I was talking to my students about what it actually means to be a village. That's a lot of money. It's crazy. Like when you look at rice, we did a project looking at rice, it'll take tons and tons of rice just to get to 1 billion. 100 billion is like crazy. It's like 1,000 million. Imagine that. 1,000 million is going to a project that New York City never saw. That's ridiculous. We already know what works. Mentoring by people who know these neighborhoods, counseling and mental health support, restorative practices that build accountability while keeping young people connected to family, school, and community. And we know that these approaches strengthen safety and incarceration does not. Incarceration actually increases safety. If we are serious about public safety, we have to be serious about investing. We like to make investments on the back end. We make lots of investments to incarceration, but no investments to programs to help people keep out of incarceration. That is why the Youth Justice Innovation Fund matters. It will put real resources directly into trusted community organizations across the state, including right here in New York City, and support the people doing this work every day. I had no clue that money was attached to Raise the Age and that New York City didn't receive a thing. When I worked as a staffer in Albany, we always talk about downstate, upstate capital. New York City sends more taxes to Albany than any other county across the state. And I really do not understand why we have not received any money here to fund these programs. Rolling back Raise the Age and ignoring the facts is deep and hard. Fully investing in it is a responsible choice. The
I'm going to stick and move, but I want to speak to you via the art of poetry today. And the poem I'm going to share with you is titled, Who Will Save Babies? If yours are found dead, then will you help the babies? When they paint the town red like those Delta ladies, will they get attention from the elders? Maybe. While our politician does his next 4 years in politics, compare how many youth get 4-year scholarships to those doing 25 for life for hollow tips, just to lick his fingertips from a bag of chips and sips from a Capri Sun to the precinct for fingerprints, or formerly known as, like the singer Prince. Life is a shorty, shouldn't be so tough. Everyday beast mode, no peace, no love. Survival should be no child's rifle. For food on the tongue at night, they don't want to bite when hunger strike, lightning and thunder strike. Nobody's giving. Who will assist like Scottie Pippen? A population that's poverty stricken. Some fulfill dreams, some kill dreams. Some hearts dormant, some march forward like drill teams. The moon couldn't shine without the sun. What if Fat Joe didn't sign Big Pun? Obama ain't win without the vote, though he decided to run. So don't forget to throw the rope when you climb to where you're from. Don't just remind how far you've come. To thank Jehovah is to live the African proverb, Sankofa, never forgetting others in the path one has covered. No good deed of the past goes undiscovered. The ones that suffered rarely is mentioned, unless an obituary or penitentiary detention. What's better, cure or prevention? What if we saw the potential of the mental of that young boy as essential before the law, who was ignored by mentor or parental, who went to war for credential, gang initiated, or military labor for business hours? Either or, we at war for a turf that isn't ours. Who will orchestrate a plan to lead us from awkward to straight, so youth won't be tried as adults in New York State on a court date, get close and wait, trying to put a book in place. No contribution, unless it come with a tax write-off. So young girl prostitute showing her backside off on a busy strip, opposed to business clothes in a busy world. Products of environments, nothing like Disney World. No Santa Claus climbing down the chimney world. Delta dog, every man for self. Stingy. How many CEOs were once VPs for the same motivation you put your corporation to your 501c3s? So your corporation is your sidekick you make the best of. With these nonprofits, it's like your side chick, they get less love. Messed up how they judge us for. All these youth programs suffer from a budget cut. So mask and 4-5 comes before necktie and button-up. Much love to single mothers, but we need two in the home. Nonprofits are positive, but they can't do it alone. Yeah. One hand can't clap, and one man can't make it happen. We all got a part to play. We all got a part to play. And that job starts today. You've been hired. Now that you're inspired, interview questions of what the youth inquire. Who will save the babies? My name is Messiah Ramsey. I represent Justice Network, but on a major scale, I represent the young people. I spent 20 years, and I started off very young in my early 20s in these facilities with our children in D.C. and Baltimore the last 15 years or so, Rikers Island. Before they had cameras in Rikers Island, we saw the abuse. We saw children who were just guilty by association for being in a housing unit or a classroom, and you thought they went home, and 6 months later they came back looking skinny as a toothpick because they went solitary confinement for 6 months for looking the wrong way in the lineup, right? So I represent those babies, and I definitely urge us as adults to be on the right side of history. You know, we got some powerful young brothers and sisters that need an opportunity to let that power shine, to let that power come alive. But we got to get out their way and do what we need to do as adults. So I want to say that we support the Youth Justice and Innovation Fund, and we stand by Raise the Age as Youth Justice Network.
Speeches,
everybody.
Morning.
My name is Patrick Edge. I'm a youth mentor, youth coach, youth engagement specialist with cases, supervised release program. Definitely a full circle moment because I work with Youth Justice Network. At 17 years old, incarcerated on Rikers Island, being tried as an adult. It was different. And today looks very different. It doesn't look like the courtroom where I have my hands behind my back. It doesn't look like a jail cell where I was wearing tans or orange jumpsuit, pulling loved ones from Rikers Island. But it looks like support. It looks like community. It looks like fellowship. And it looks like leadership. Leadership looks like when you put young people at the table. When they're not looked at as monsters or criminals or being bashed for the mistakes that they made. Because mistakes are not failure. But the failure becomes your foundation when you allow it to be a masterpiece. Out of failure, you start to understand where you went wrong at. So then, my story is I came back home after being incarcerated, doing some time. In 2020 of April, I lost my mom to COVID. Then a year later, I got shot in my community, a victim of gun violence. What do you say to that young brother that doesn't feel safe in his community? Who's forced to carry a firearm, not knowing when's the last time he's going to make it back home? And now standing in front of you as a youth advocate, youth mentor, youth engagement specialist, advocating for these bills to be passed, being the voice of the young people that are not just standing here, but that are locked up in there, that feel like they have no voice, feel like they have no freedom. What do you tell the community and those young people who are facing low-income and low-income housing, don't have housing, don't have family? Where's the protection? Where's the support? So, I urge everybody to be intentional about Raise the Age. It's about opening doors for opportunity for young people to succeed. More young people like me that have a story to tell to keep writing. Because my story didn't end inside of the jail cell. It began. It began when I came back home and I was surrounded by Youth Justice Network. I was surrounded by cases. I was surrounded by so many nonprofit organizations I had no idea about. Understanding I could talk to my council members, my assembly members about things I want to change. Being the change I wanted to see in my own community, I am that today. And to be grateful, to be blessed, to stand here, this is going to be seen on the news. This is not a mugshot of me. This is not me killing somebody. This is something I can be proud of. From Southside Jamaica, Queens. And a lot of times, where you come from, they dictate where you go. And I'm grateful and I'm blessed for these opportunities to continue to transform those traumas in young people, to show them that mentorship works. More mentorship, less punishment. More collaboration, less competition. And that's how young people succeed. When you give them a seat at the table, and not just a seat at the table, you give them the blueprint on how to be in that position, how to walk and talk like a CEO, expose them to different things because they only expose to those things that's in their environment. Young people make mistakes, and I want to talk to young people. Don't worry about the mistakes that you made. It's not too late to get it together. Surround yourself around people that know you, that want to build you, that want to be beside you. Mentorship is a real thing. It has saved me from losing my mother. It has saved me from being a victim of gun violence. And now being a young father, entrepreneur, fashion designer, teaching young people how to transform traumas, taking that pain and putting it into purpose. So protect Raise the Age, protect every young person, and protect ourselves in New York City and New York State. Keep educating, keep advocating, and that's how we live on. Thank you.
I Next third grade.
Bless
Thank you all for being here. There's a lot of people who are talking about public safety don't really understand it. They understand headlines. But the people behind me, the people who are speaking, are really serious about safety. They actually want to create safety in their communities. They're not just trying to get elected, they're not just trying to reach a headline. They actually come from and care about the communities that have been harmed. And if we would listen to them more, we'd actually have safer communities. And as I said before, we've tried our best to arrest the children that we arrested 20 years ago. And that hasn't worked. And it's not going to work. We arrested their parents, we're going to arrest them, and they're going to try to arrest their children. What the things we've been talking about are proven. They're based in data. They're not pie in the sky. They're real. And every time we try to do something, they tell us the sky's going to fall open, black and brown kids will fall from it and destroy the city. But that has never happened. Whether it's dealing with the abuse of stop enforcement, whether it was the How Many Stops Act, even bail reform, raise the age. Every time we did this, they tell us it's going to blow up the whole city. But just a week ago, they're talking about how safe this city has gotten. Explain to me every single time we tell you we want to make the lives of our children, particularly in the black and brown communities, better. Here are ways that you can do it. You scare the crap out of this city, and now you're saying how safe the city is, but you haven't apologized for all the lies that you've told before. Pure lies, driving fear and terror. And every time you want to use these bills and these laws as boogeymen, raise the age is not the boogeyman. I was even shocked to find out that raise the age doesn't even apply to the most serious crimes that you talk about on TV all of the time. That part. So the violent crimes and the violent shootings are not even included. So if that's going up, it ain't because of raise the age, because it didn't include that. Right. So at least be honest about what's going on and stop trying to cause more harm to communities that are already traumatized. And fund the thing that we told you to fund when we told you to pass this. Believe me, if you do that, we'll see even better results. If you can find millions and millions and millions of dollars to send more and more cops into the subway, find some of the money to fund the program we told you were going to help you.
Yeah.
Whether it's bail reform or whether it's raise the age. All of us here understand what's needed. We don't ask people to do things that don't make sense. What we said was, causing more trauma and harm to young people don't make them less likely to commit crimes and don't create safety in our community. So, let's change that. And, y'all forget the and all the time, and fund the programs that will help you. So if you want to blame somebody for anything, blame the leaders who didn't fund the damn programs that we told them to. Leave raise the age alone and fund the damn program that we told you to fund. If you are really serious about safety, if you're simply worried about re-election, if you love Trump, or if you're worried about making a better headline, then keep doing what you're doing. But our children are dying.
That's right.
They're being harmed.
That's right.
And what we're saying is these folks come from those communities. Nobody wants that to stop more than the people who are telling you what to do. Stop lying to the public, leave raise the age alone, fund the programs, we'll be all right.
Our next speaker, who is a program strategist at the Children's Defense Fund, Jose
privilege to working for my younger self, my former 13-year-old self. When I was 13, I was placed in the Vernon C. Bain Correction Center, also known as the Barge, also known as the Boat. It's gone now, thank God, right? It's time to close Rikers as well. I was a 16-year-old boy on Rikers Island, and across in one of those buildings, my own mother was also incarcerated while I was incarcerated on Rikers Island. So what we have been doing is that we have been encouraging this cycle of harm, this cycle of stripping families apart. So Raise the Age happened, and I was so thankful when it happened, because now we can start somewhere. Now we can start understanding that we all need to be centering our younger selves. Because when you are young, you don't need one more chance. You need love. You need nurture. You need someone to be there when you fall. Because guess what? When you're a young person, you're gonna fall.
Yeah.
And you should feel safe to make mistakes. Because that's how we learn. That's how we all learn. I encourage everyone, all legislators, all lawmakers, when you're looking at Raise the Age, I want you to think back to who you were when you were a teenager trying to figure out the world. And now couple that with your environment, not really having your back, not having any places to go. Because when we talk about funding, the first places that they strip funding from are our own neighborhoods. And you wonder why our young people don't have no places to go. So we need to invest in our young people now. We need to pass these bills. I have a hoodie on. We have the Right to Remain Silent Act. We have the Youth Justice and Opportunities Act. We have the Justice Innovation Fund. We have the Child, Family, and Wellbeing Fund. We have all of these bills, these dynamic bills that are there to make sure that we secure more protection. We make sure that we secure a future for our young people. Let's leave Raise the Age alone, and let's fund Raise the Age, like the brother just said before. Please.
Okay, for our next speaker, he is the Policy Research Associate at Equal Action Center, where he advocates for equitable policies that empower marginalized communities. Everybody give it up for Jason Rodriguez.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And thanks for all the good people that are out here doing the work in our communities that really need to be done. We heard today from council members, assembly members, and providers, youth themselves who are often left out of the equation, and their voices were loud and resounding. And when we think about them and how eloquently they spoke, we really need to start listening to them. And so today, while they had spoken so eloquently about what works, I want to close out the session with what didn't. In 1997, I was just 17 years old. So the Lord didn't see me as a child. He saw me as an adult to be discarded. So for the next 25 years, I spent my time, most of my adulthood, kids should be learning and exploring inside the horrors of New York State prisons. Having to navigate and survive those horrors, the things that a child should never have seen, let alone have to survive. But my incarceration didn't prevent harm. It just created a second tragedy. Because before that moment, no one ever asked me what I needed. No one ever asked my victim what he needed. Instead, we had no mentorships, no early interventions, no after-school programs, because those were cut, and no one there to listen to our pain. Instead, we were both failed by a system that punishes pain before it happens and after. And it never looks to prevent it nor heal it. Today I work with youth at a legal access center where I co-facilitate young members who have received those supports. And I can tell you, they've got direction, they are thriving in their communities, and they are leaders. And they were given every day back because of programs for people that are doing the work that stand behind them. They know the solutions that work. We just need the courage to fund them. And today, that's what Raise the Age protects. That's what makes it possible. And that's what we stand to lose if we don't fund that. And if we don't protect it. When we invest in youth, we don't just prevent harm. We build strong people, safe communities that keep all of us with bright futures. When we invest in youth, we build strong people. We tell them that they're valued, that we love them. If we really believe the present of their future and their tense now, then why don't we support them? How difficult is that? How difficult is it to hear a young person's needs and then ignore them when they're telling you what they need and what works? It doesn't make sense. Protect Raise the Age. Fund our youth. And never again call it justice when we put a child inside of a cage.
We did hear the introduction and to our session and the state of the state address from our governor. I am happy to state that while many of my fears were calm because I did not hear this as a major issue for this year's budget, because I 100% am against the babies of our communities being balanced against the interests of this state and this budget. But we are ready, and we stand ready because we hear the murmurings. We hear the rumor mill. We hear the fear-mongering. And we are here to state that we are going to protect our babies at any and every cost.
Right.
We are constantly telling our children no, but we are giving them nothing to say yes to. We are telling them that they cannot sit in our parks, but you're closing our community center. We are telling them that they need to stay in school, but you are not providing them with the laptops, with the iPads, with the apparatus in order to be successful youth in an educational experience. You are doing nothing to hold them there. You are cutting off their future. And then you're blaming them. And you're blaming their families. And you're blaming the community for the systematic racism that you brought to us. And this is not new. This is not new. You have been doing this for decades, for centuries. We are watching the remnants of slavery be imparted on our families even through 2026. But this is our reparations moment. This is the day that we say that failed policies will no longer be allowed in government. So I am proud to stand with the New York State Policy Legal Action Center here on behalf of Raise the Age. From Crossroads to Horizon. From all juvenile detention facilities around the state of New York. We are saying that
that we are giving our babies an opportunity to grow up. Yes, people have made many bad decisions in life. No one is absolved for that. They have simply got caught for their decisions and should not have to pay for the rest of their lives for these decisions. This should not be a death sentence. This should not be a sentence to a life of crime and violence when you lock up a child at 16 and you give them no hope and no faith for a future. This is the type of embedded recidivism that you expect because we know that you are building jail cells for our babies from the time they are 8 years old and in the 3rd grade. But we are stopping this now. We did a law that would dramatically reduce youth incarceration, and we are standing out against dangerous distractions. The real failure here is that nearly $1 billion for community-based youth services is sitting unused and in your banks and in your coffers. And we need money for our babies. We need money for education and not for your mass incarceration. New York City has been shut out entirely. And young people need real investments in care and opportunity, not to fail punitive policies. Any and every call to roll back raising age, though we know it's not new, but we've seen this before. A crime or series of horrific crimes will grab headlines because we all know that when it bleeds, it leads. But when our babies are doing great, we don't see no cameras. When they're playing violins and they're getting A's in school and they're putting on amazing performances, we don't see the cameras there. We don't see the reporters there. In this day, we know that some elected officials and many members of the media, not those who are here, hopefully, will immediately blame criminal justice reform and call for change to anything that happens in our cities. The loudest calls were against bail reform, even though the data show that the reforms were working. They came for discovery form, and now they're coming for raise the age. The reality is, and still remains, that 16 and 17-year-olds should not be treated as adults. Raise the age and raise the age of criminal responsibility from 16 to 18. And there is no scenario in which my assembly colleagues would entertain a change to that point. First thing we need to do is to show that as a result of the state controller's report, we know that $600 million of the $1.7 billion allocated to support the reforms has been spent by counties across the state. This money that can be spent on alternatives to incarceration programs, mental health and substance abuse programs, and improvements to existing juvenile facilities, or building new ones, or to fund initiatives to support the rehabilitation of young people convicted of crimes are still sitting rampant. We should consider upfront payments to localities rather than the complicated reimbursement structure that is now in place. The money will get to localities faster. Once the money is put to use, we can have an open and fact-based discussion about raising age and whether or not it is working. I'm also open to considering the permanent funding stream that has been proposed. I am energized, I'm steadfast, and I'm ready to fight to protect the critical set of criminal justice reforms. And I'm ready to fight for the full implementation of programming tied to raise the age. So stand together as we create pathways for opportunities for our young people in Brownsville and around the state of New York. I am Assemblymember
We're going to continue to force the government to give us the money